Alright, so I'm going to do this. This is Tina's video, and I'm just going to draw the bow. First of all, I'm going to show the bow. Everything's backwards on this. It's hard to get used to something. Alright, so the thumb is going to be right on the frog, and the middle finger is going to be on the other side of the bow, almost touching the thumb, basically. And so that's a little, what's the word for it? That's kind of your fulcrum, okay? Then so I'm going to turn around now. Then your fingers, you want them to see how they're kind of forward there on your screen, but they're forward toward the tip of the bow, aren't they? They're not like this. Okay, we don't want this. We want this. Everything's kind of forward, I don't know, what is that, 25 degrees or something like that, right? And basically this index finger is going to be resting on there, because when we get here to the tip of the bow, and we're playing here at the tip of the bow or somewhere up here, I don't want to touch it too much, we get pressure on that tip of the bow by the index finger laying down here onto the shaft of the bow. Okay, so that is the bow hold, and then you're going to take that. Also, while you get this bow hold kind of going, you might want to rest your bow on your fiddle, so that, see, now I can make adjustments, I can do this or that, and the bow isn't going to drop out of my hand, right? So you can rest it on there somewhere toward the top of the bow, and then try to get so that your bow hold looks like the fingers are tilting forward, right? And then I just want you to put on the third string, I want you to draw back quickly. And you want to try to keep it. I kind of wander because I'm watching the screen. And then back up. And one of the ways that I get rid of that attack at the beginning is, I teach beginners anyway at first, you can actually roll it at the end. So here it is, I'm coming up here. Let's start here. So let's say I start up here, and I'm going to be playing on the kind of the edge of the bow hair that's closest to me. Right here. As I get down to the end, I can roll it a little bit to the outside, and that keeps sound coming out of those hairs. Is the idea, okay? And so they might go like this. It also makes the wrist come up like I showed you, to like this instead of like this, right? Once we get up here at the top, we do want it to be like this, okay? And as you pull down, it'll straighten out, and eventually that'll get, now the wrist looks, instead of bent up like this, it almost looks bent back. So there you go. And the wrist and the fingers in this bow grip are what keep that squeak from happening when you change directions. That's something to think about. So you go roll it a little, roll it a little, roll it inside on the way down, outside on the way up. And eventually, you might not always do this, but this I found helps you with that feeling of the wrist taking a roll in the end of the bows to keep it from squeaking. And I think that's all I'm going to need you to do. We talked about a bunch of stuff, and I'm going to make some copies of some stuff for you, but that's the main thing I want you to practice, starting with a good tone. Then when we put our fingers down, we'll be a lot further ahead. Okay. So if I learn to play a wind instrument, I'm going to learn by blowing into the wind instrument without moving the keys around. And I'm just going to blow the thing until I get a decent sound that I can live with while I learn the instrument. Right? Okay. All right. Cool.